I'm gonna go ahead and start. Are you do you want to come up at any point, or do you want me to just roll with
Just
it?
say
Or?
thank you. I'll say this elapse and I'll say the
Okay. Okay, perfect. And you said so the second part you say the what?
I'll say a little bit about Randall's coming. I'll say a little bit about the song.
Okay. So yeah. Okay. Gotcha. All right, everyone. We are ready to get started. Super exciting. If you could grab a seat. We're going to have the speaker start very momentarily. So please feel free to come on in if you'd like into the room, or feel free to stay out there as well. We do have monitors. Hopefully you can see everything. But we'll ask to kind of settle down, get nice and ready to hear some amazing speakers, learn some tech stuff during Atlanta Tech Week. I'm Cecilia, by the way. Hi. There's a lot of people in this room. Awesome. All right. Thank you, everyone. I am Cecilia Martinez, she, her. I am the organizer for Atlanta JavaScript. We have an amazing meetup for you tonight. We have a bunch of speakers lined up, and I'm really grateful to everyone for being here and being a part of this community. So we're going to kick things off now. We do have some speakers. We are also going to take a break halfway through and play JavaScript Jeopardy, when you have a chance to win some swag. So, start Googling now, study up a little bit. We'll have some trivia. We'll see how it goes with this many people, honestly, but it'll be great. It'll be fun either way. But to start things off, I just want to mention this is Atlanta JavaScript Meetup. We do partner with other meetups in the Atlanta area, Modern Web, Vue ATL, and React ATL. And we could not do this without this partnership. Organizing a community like this isn't always the easiest, and it's to the testament of the other organizers here that make this possible. So you can learn more about all of these meetups at atlantajavascript.com. We cross-post each other's events, so you can always find out what's going on in Atlanta with the tech community. We have meetups in town, in Midtown, then also in Alpharetta if you are OTP. So there's some options there for you. Our next meetup is actually going to be on June 25th. So we have 2 meetups this month. That's going to be at our normal location at Tech Square ATL in Midtown. So you can check that out. Adriana is actually going to be our speaker, and she is here in the room today. It's going to be Remix, the evolution of React and modern frameworks. So definitely recommend registering for that ASAP. It's going to be a really awesome talk that you will not want to miss if you are in Atlanta. And I'm actually going to go ahead and bring up Adriana right now to speak about another great community happening in Atlanta that's coming up, and we're excited to share. Woo! And Monica as well. Yes. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Monica. Monica Collins, I should say. I created a meetup called React Robin for women and non-binary React developers. We're just founded in New York, and we're trying to bring it to Atlanta so we can connect with you all here as well.
We will have our very, it's been a while since we had an event. We will have our first in-person event in Atlanta. So if you are in town, I think July
7th.
July 10th, we will have it at our City Hall offices. And if you're not from Atlanta and you still want to attend this event, we'll be having networking, lightning talks, and also giving a technical speaker. And that will actually be also available below. So if you have anything interested, we'll be sharing this through React Province on Twitter. And if you follow us on React JS Province, you can find out more information.
Awesome. Yeah, as you can tell, there's a lot of really amazing things happening in the Atlanta tech community, and so we're super excited to see it happen. Awesome. We want to give a shout out. We are a Render ATL community partner, and we are also part of Atlanta Tech Week. FanDuel, whose offices we are in right now, is also going to be at Render, so make sure that you say hi and check that out. But we appreciate the partnership of Render and Atlanta Tech Week for helping all of y'all be here today. We do want to thank some of our sponsors. So as I mentioned, planning these events is not possible without support. So the first one is Siva Group, which has been a longtime sponsor of Atlanta JavaScript. And Tracy, did you want to say anything about this? Yeah.
Hey everybody, so good to see everybody here today. Siva Group is Randall Kent's company. You all know them So he also has a spot here, and he is always hiring. So if you want to work for a really cool low-end company that cares about developers, it's a pretty small team, but it's pretty cool vibe. So check them out, and you can look up Randall on LinkedIn probably at Randall Kent, and tell him that we sent you. He's also one of the used to be at ATL organizer. So.
Yeah, original founder. So, and then do you want to stay up and talk about this dot as well?
Yes, this dot is my company for all of you who don't know. We do application development. We mainly focus on the high-tech space. We have customers like, well, we help with the React docs, for example, the documentation, Google, Wikipedia, Century, Twilio, Cloudflare, etc. But we also take a lot of those high-tech best practices and we bring them to other industries like life sciences, financial services. So we are hiring tech leads for 100% remote and worldwide. So if you are looking for jobs, feel free to find me on Twitter at Lead or on LinkedIn at Tracy Lee, or you can come. Always happy to chat.
Awesome. Thank you so much. If you haven't met Tracy, she's amazing. So definitely make a point to do that. We also want to thank Track.js. Track.js has also been a longtime sponsor of Atlanta JavaScript, and we really appreciate their continued support. So Track.js provides simple, easy, and affordable JavaScript error monitoring for your web applications that will actually help you fix bugs. So I know I have bugs in my JavaScript. I imagine some of you out there do too. You know, not pointing any fingers. Miranda, I see you. But yeah, definitely make sure that you check it out. There's a QR code, and you can go to bit.ly/trackjs.atljs to learn more. There's also some really fun JS Happens poop stickers on the front table, and those are courtesy of Track.js. And you'll learn more about Todd, who's here, and our sponsor, and so you'll get to meet him later on today. And then also a quick shout out to Stitch. They have been a sponsor as well. You can use Stitch to enterprise-grade multi-tenant B2B auth with SSO, RBAC, and SCIM. They are hiring as well. You can check that out, or you can get started with their Java SDK. So just stitch.com. All right, I would love to welcome our hosts now up to the stage microphone, FanDuel. We're really, really excited to be here with them. So please welcome David and Kieran.
We'll be quick. Just wanted to thank you all for coming out. This is our first event that we're hosting with Atlanta JavaScript. It's awesome to see the turnout here. We opened this office about 2 years ago. We've been building out the engineering team since. We're a React shop, so we've kind of taken a lot from the JavaScript community, and I think it's time that we give back a bit. So looking to do more sponsorships like this, talk to folks like yourselves, and just kind of see what your pain points are with the language, learn from each other, grow from there. And yeah, I'll pass it up to Kieran. We'll hold the mic a little closer to his mouth.
Did you want me to change the slide?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, FanDuel is involved in fantasy, sports, all in this email. So free-to-play racing, retail, all of that, right? We are expanding a lot. And this is one of our primary engineering hub. And we are invested in actually working with everybody in the technology scene here in Atlanta, sharing some of the tech stack and things like that. That is really widespread, and we look forward to connecting with you all. And thanks to CEO for bringing this here, and we are glad to be able to host you all.
Thank you so much. And I also did want to mention as well our other organizers. Unfortunately, Martin Rojas could not be here today, but we do also have Alex Revere, who's we have matching hair color. I think it's the exact same dye, Fifi told me. So definitely make sure you say hi to him, and then obviously also Tracy as well. So thank you to all of their support for making this happen. So I would love to now welcome up our first speaker, the aforementioned Todd, who's going to talk about filtering the noise in client-side errors. Let's give a warm, warm welcome to Todd.
Now we just have that awkward period where we change laptops around and make sure everything works. So while that happens, I'm going to tell you a joke. How do you tell a introverted software engineer from an extroverted software engineer? An extroverted one will look at your shoes when he's talking to you.
Awesome, and I'll just just, did you want to use the mic?
Yeah, I probably should use the mic. I only had 2 hands. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. Hi, everybody out there. My name is Todd. I am the founder and CEO of Track.js. I'm thrilled to be here. We've been sponsoring this thing for a while. This is my first opportunity to be here. I'm from Minneapolis. I'm here to render. The whole thing worked out, so it's great. I'm not going to take up too much of your time. I'm just going to try to tell some fun jokes, talk about stuff I do, and then move on to like content to tell you about. I think this is really fun because my start came in user group just like this. So 11 years ago, I was a really active member of JavaScript and which was a group pretty much exactly like the names of the companies changed and the people in the room were a little different, but it was basically exactly like this. And I launched my company at a user group. I got my first feedback, I got my first customers. These sort of groups are really important, really valuable. Engaging with groups like this. Thank you to all of the organizers that put in a bunch of time to make these meetings happen. It's awesome. The company that I started is Track.js. We got a few logos over here, which you might have seen us or heard of us. What's important about this is that, we're a monitoring company. And monitoring is important because we all kind of suck at the same time. We gotta keep an eye on things for when our fuck-ups catch up with us. Monitoring servers, clouds, and stuff like that is easy because every one of those fuck-ups is a real fuck-up. It's a real thing that somebody actually has to go and pay attention to. What's worse is that when you try and monitor the client side, it's just all the more painful because 90% of the things that come at you is somebody else's problem. It's a browser that's not supported. It's a network that I don't care about. It's somebody installed a stupid browser extension that's messing with the page. This whole thing stems from the JavaScript and the web is the most hostile development environment imaginable. It's going over and over and over. And this is why I drink so much. Because I have been monitoring client-side JavaScript here for 10 fucking years, and it's awful. Like, people will come to me and say, we'll ask about the platform, about how Track.js is written with our tech stack. And it's .NET, because I'm not going to choose to write JavaScript if I don't have to. Alright, let me point out just one little thing. Alright, so this is the graphic I stole likely off the internet. It's browser distributions. So here's current utilization. I don't know if it's right, but it's approximately. And it's okay, because most people use Chrome. Users get to pick their own browser. And that's crazy when you think it. Imagine the chaos that would ensue if your user got to choose which version of the .NET runtime your app ran on every time. Or what version of Python. Oh, now it's Python 2. Oh, now it's Python 3. Where your app just work every time. Most people can settle on a handful of browsers, but the law of large numbers really bumps this up because think of how busy the web is. In a month, millions, billions, trillions, there's 489 trillion monthly visits on the web. So that means this 2.2%. If we really zero in on that means even if it's only 0.01% utilization, that still means there's 489 million people browsing your site with a Samsung refrigerator. Did you test it with a Samsung refrigerator? You all need a fancy Samsung refrigerator in your office so that you can test utilization, right? This is what I like to call the background radiation. It's weird browsers, slow networks, browser extensions, all of these things are just constantly throwing errors that you never would have expected or planned for. And so when you're debugging it, it's dangerous, it's scary, there's all kinds of stuff. I want you to briefly help me handle some of that and stage that that was the funny part of my presentation. I'm going to do boring commercial stuff so that I can pay my mortgage. Alright, so JavaScript bug for difficult success. Here's my favorite bug of all time. Type error, E is undefined. This is also, I want to show off my awesome PowerPoint or Photoshop skills. This is stock code. I bought this class. I Photoshop that JS on that. Okay, back to the okay, so E is undefined. Every developer will go through the same mental steps. What the hell is E? What part of the app is this? Do I have stack trace? No. That doesn't happen on my computer. What was the user doing? It must be their problem. So what Track.js does is help you answer these questions by giving you a little bit of JavaScript to put in your JavaScript. And I know what some of you are thinking, at least the old people like me, like old means. Yo, dog, I heard you like JavaScript, so I got some JavaScript to put in your JavaScript to help you do JavaScript better. So I give you a little bit of JavaScript you put in your page, and then I give you really detailed production error reports about what users are doing. So 2 minutes ago, this thing blew up on this particular user, this IP address on this page, running this particular browser so you can recreate it. That's not all. We do what we call the telemetry timeline, which is really the novel things that we did when we launched 11 years ago that nobody else has ever heard of, and all our competitors systems copy. Where we combine analytics with error monitoring, so we'll tell you what XHR events or fetch requests are happening, what user actions took place, what console events, all the things that led up to an error. And then stack traces and source code and all kinds of other fun stuff that I'm going to go over because that's my jokes. The important thing that I want to point out here, and I think is still really different about us versus everybody else, is we do this thing called ignore rules. Ignore rules let you set up these easy rules about what kinds of errors you never, ever, ever, ever want to see. They're from unsupported browsers that suck ass or whatever. You don't want errors from ARES bots, or Phantom, or Edge 17, or Headless Chrome, or Internet Explorer. You're not going to debug any of those. Track.js gives you this ability to create these things by stack trace, by browser, by, hey, that page, Frank, maybe that page, I don't want to see errors that Frank wrote. I'm going to ignore that whole page. Whatever you want using this powerful word builder. And you might be thinking, why is this important tile right to build a talk around building ignore rules? That sounds boring. And I want to point out that this is the business model of most monitoring tools. They charge you $1 for an error. You send an error, you owe them money. That puts them as your opponent. They make money when you screw up. When you release a bug and tens of thousands of errors happen, and then you have to pay them a whole bunch of money to keep using their service. That means they are not incentivized in any way to actually help you. Me, I don't take any funding. I'm just a small business. I want to be on your team. I want to ride success together. I charge you for traffic. The busier your site is, the more successful your site is, the more we do together. I don't care how many errors you send me, all you want. Go for it. So that's me. Let me help you build some awesome shit. If you're a commercial tool, obviously I want to pay money so that, I can buy food and pay my mortgage or something like that. But if you don't make money, then I'm happy to give it away for free. Free trials, free for education, free for non-commercial, free for students, whatever you want to do. If you like me, the kind of stuff that I do, I'm doing a talk at Render on Friday called Hostile JavaScript Attacking the Vending Browser, where I built some awesome GeoCities style web page and I'm hacking everybody's browser. That's going to be fun. Thursday night, I host a comedy show called Comedy Atlanta. We're going to be doing a satirical startup pitch competition. In more professional ways, I also teach on Friday Masters, like we talked about debugging and web performance. I have courses out there. And I run another product called Metrics, which does web performance monitoring. That's all I have. Thank you so much. User groups are awesome.
All right, thank you so much. So our next speaker needs no slides, which is amazing. So I'm going to go back onto my computer. Who's going to roll with it. So we have an awesome person who I've had to meet a couple times and got to see before, so I was really excited. So please welcome Taylor from Good.io.
All right, I feel like this is speaking. And I'm really bad at speaking.
Next.
So we're going to do this real fast. My name is Taylor Destin. I work for Gun.io. Anybody here know who Gun.io is? Woo! Sweet, 6 of us. Great. Basically, we're a talent marketplace. So we just rolled out a really cool product where you can source top-end engineers on our platform. We have about 3 to, actually, 7,000 engineers vetted on our platform. If you're a hiring manager and/or recruiter and you're looking to scale your engineering teams, come talk to me, let me help you. But what I want to talk about today is the job search. Right? So I spent 13 years in the engineering space, recruiting engineers, placing engineers. I've placed over 1,000 engineers in jobs at this point in my career. I've helped lead companies, hundreds of companies at this point in my career, to scale their engineering teams. And I've seen companies fail, and I've seen companies succeed. And more times than not, companies fail when it comes to hiring. So I've seen both sides of the coin. So what I want to talk to you about today is really the state we're in. And I started a timer, so we have 10 minutes and 58 seconds. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to ramble here for a few minutes, but I also want to answer your questions. I like doing Q&A because I feel like in the job search we're all alone, right? I've talked to so many people. Let me do a raise of hands here. How many people have been laid off or changed jobs in the last year and a half? Raise your hand. Everybody on the ground. It's a lot of people. You and myself, right? And so I want to let you know first and foremost, if you are going through the job search, you're about to go into the job search right now. I want you to know you're not alone. Like this place right now, render this, this Meetup's incredible. Like literally getting goosebumps. I've never seen this many people in Meetup before. This is special. If I were you, I would try to get as many LinkedIn requests, connections out. I would get as many Twitter connections out that you easily can. Try to share phone numbers, do something. I will tell you this. This is where community starts. Dom and I were just chatting about this before we went live here, and just the importance of community. Right? Listen, everybody here at this conference wants to network with you. Let me say that again. Every single person at this conference wants to network with you. So don't be afraid. I encourage you to go up and talk to people. Right? When it comes to the job search, listen, one of the things that I've seen consistently right now is what worked 2-3 years ago does not work now. Right? You can spell React 2 years ago in your job. I seriously think I could have gotten out of mid-level engineering and just like talk and probably lasted at least 6 months. It was so easy to find a job. Now, not so much. Right? I have friends, senior engineers, all the way to juniors looking for jobs for 6 to 9 to 12 months at this point. Right? And so I want to break down kind of some main things I've seen right now what's working. I want to take questions here for the last 5 minutes. So think of any questions. There are no dumb questions, only dumb people. So my thing is that. So basically, the first thing, networking, right? Mass applying does not work. Let me say that again. Mass applying does not work. Right? I talked with one engineering director recently. He said he had one role open and got 15 referrals for one role. He didn't even look at the resumes that were submitted to the job posting. How many of you all have blind submitted a resume? Be honest here. How many of you all have blind submitted resumes? No, you were wrong. Right? Listen, build connections. What I'm seeing that works really well right now is if you go to a company's page on LinkedIn, see their jobs that are available, and then go to the company's page and start intentionally DMing people on the LinkedIn request. When you send LinkedIn, you add a note to your request, right? Who knows what I'm talking about? Raise your hand. You have to add a note, right? Keep doing that, right? I just connected with AD over here, right? I really just sent him a note because my ass won't forget by the time I get back home, right? I want to connect with AD, I want to talk to AD later, right? I'm telling you, the blocking and tackling of job search right now is going to make you successful. Another thing too is leverage your network. Most people are going to find their jobs next through the people that you know, right? So I had a lot of people ask me, how do I find a job right now? Right? What are some metrics to hold myself to? Everyone wants metrics, right? The 2 metrics you should hold yourself to is talking to 2 people a day. 2 people a day. One person kind of in your network or in the periphery who you kind of know, talk to, right? Like my guy Rob over here, right? Rob and I just got selfie together, big fan of Rob. Rob's been in my periphery, right? I don't know if that's even the right word, but I'm using periphery, right? So if I got laid off, I can know Rob. That would kind of something in my periphery. There's a lot of people there, right? I want to talk to you. Right, so try to get 2 connections a day. Listen, I will tell you this. I do a lot of career coaching on the side. The individuals who have the best success in finding a job stick to those 2 conversations a day. Now, let me tell you, I have a job. I don't have that time. That's fine. Do as many conversations a week as you can. But know that 2 number is really what magic happens. Right, so I have 6 minutes left here. I want to answer any questions that somebody has. Again, if you have a question, somebody in this room probably has a question too. Does anybody have a question when it comes to finding a job? Otherwise, I'll keep you out of here. Does anyone have a question? Yeah, what's up?
Sort of got a question.
Yeah, you get that sort of question.
Yeah, so like, okay, so say that you got a job, right?
Yes.
And then like the industry you're in is just like doing really bad.
Yes.
You know, it's not going good.
Okay.
And I mean, like you like your job.
Sure.
Like, you know, the people that you with.
Sure.
I mean, do we go and put ourselves out there and, you know, try to get another job, or are we supposed to, you know, sit back and hope for the best?
Yeah, so that clothing is not a strategy. So for those of you who could not hear, this is a massive word. This gentleman over here says he's in an industry that's dying, but he loves his job. What does he do? Listen, I think we all need to be in always be networking right now. You need to be talking to everybody here. And it's not a shame that you go on low-key looking.
Low-key?
I mean, honestly, everybody should be low-key looking. If we're just being honest here, everybody should be low-key looking right now. Right? How many people in here have gone through layoffs or survived layoffs at the company you're at right now? Raise your hand. Everybody who has their hand raised should be looking for a job. I just had a director of engineering hit me up. I was 6 years ago in an architect role. He hit me up because I survived 6 rounds of layoffs and finally got me. And I mean, my mind, I'm like, damn, dude, why did you start, you know, hit me up before, maybe like the 4th round, not the 6th round, right? So, again, low-key looking. That should be your conversation. Honestly, that's a conversation starter. What's your name?
I'm Sid.
Sid?
Yeah.
What up, Sid?
What up, dog? What up, Tank?
Sid. So, Sid, I mean, I walk around just like, yo, I'm low-key looking for you. Right? Don't sit back. Don't sit back. Who else? You got a question? I got 4 minutes left. Yes?
Those connections on LinkedIn, those people that you don't know, who do you reach out to? The hiring manager, the engineering director? Who should I be raw connecting with?
I'm going to be honest with you, I have no idea. But I'll try and answer the question. The reason I say that is because there's no perfect formula. I literally talked to the guy yesterday. Was it yesterday? A lot of people back in the day. Basically, this individual was like, you know, I have a lot of success reaching out to people like the sales parts to try to get me connections within engineering, right? In my mind, you need to be talking. I would go straight to the decision maker, and here's the deal: we ain't got time to go back and forth on PMs. Right? This hey, you up type situation we're doing right now, cut that shit out. We ain't got time for that. What do you do? How can you provide value to my organization? Tell me that in the DM, right? And then move on, right? And you got to keep sending the DM. Now, listen, a lot of people are going to be knocking things, right? The thing is, you got to keep going. Okay? Yes, we got questions back. Yes. Yeah, you. You're really bad at technical interviews?
Practice.
All right, so, well, hold on. Yeah, practice is the top-out answer. Do you know where you really mess up? That's kind of a rhetorical question. We don't have to go into it right now. I only got 3 minutes. But, no, so my thing is look for patterns. Why are you getting rejected for jobs? Is there a pattern? Why do you keep failing in technical interviews? What I would do is I would have a Google Doc or a notebook down that way. Google Doc or like a notebook. And what I would do is I would journal after every single interview where you missed the mark. Because guess what's going to happen? You're going to create a study guide. And then you're going to start seeing your inconsistencies and where you're failing. Right? Being more aware. The job search right now is about awareness over anything else. Okay? Again, I want to sit and hang out with you more, talk about this, and we got to move on. Any other questions? Yeah, gentleman in the back with the pink on. Sam. Cool.
In regards to the job search, if like you see job responsibilities that don't necessarily align with what you're looking for, it might be a little more. Should you be applying for the responsibilities or the title itself? Say something says you need 15 years of experience in React, which I've seen hasn't even existed that long. Is that something like that you would say this is a red flag? They don't even know what they're talking about, or what?
No, yeah. So the question over here about this wonderful gentleman in the coral sand shirt over here is that do you submit your resume for the job and just like trying to reach towards? If the job description is not written with your experience, should you still submit? Listen, you understand something? I'm throwing this stat out here. I would say 90% of job descriptions is written by HR, but no fucking idea what React is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, so my thing is that if you're trying to level up, go level up, but don't submit your resume. Whoever that is, so say FanDuel has got a job posted up, right? FanDuel's got a job posted up. What you need to do is you need to go to FanDuel's LinkedIn page, go to their people on LinkedIn, and then go find an engineering manager, and shoot the engineering manager, yo, so maybe not lead with yo, but like, hey, right, I saw you a job posting, it's requiring this much skills, I have this, don't have this, do you want to talk? But don't fucking submit your resume, got it? I hope that answers your question. Just don't, listen, if it's in your range, go for it. If it's a little money range, fucking go for it. Because here's the deal. I got a job where I'm at now because I just fucking went for it. They created a job for me. I talked to so many people where jobs are created because you have conversations with people on the front end, they get to know you, and they think you put yourself in the organization. Who else? Yes?
We were talking and we wanted clarification on that goal to talk to 2 people a day.
Yes.
You mean like send 2 messages on LinkedIn a
No,
day?
like, phone.
Oh, okay.
Phone, FaceTime, pigeons, owls, your hair, not fans, right? I got some folks for the next 2 days, right? It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to send those DMs out to get those people to talk to you. I understand that. But my dad literally did that and found a job in the restaurant industry on LinkedIn. How many people know that there's like restaurant people on LinkedIn, right? And my dad did that because he stuck to that consistent cadence, okay? Yes, AD?
So how does someone become a vetted engineer on your platform in regards to like a person who's looking for an opportunity?
Yeah, so AD said, yeah, I'm not going to do this, but I'm going to do basically, if you want to be a part of Gun.io's platform, go to Gun.io. At the end of the day, there's still a tiny application process. We typically look at mid to senior developers. Don't get mad at me. It just listen. Our clients come to us for mid to senior, so for your junior. But we have a bunch of virtual meetups and communities that I help run. But go on. You still have your information. Like set of questions. And then what happens is once you're approved, you go find your longer profile. We actually encourage you to how to write a really good resume, how to write a really good LinkedIn. And then basically what you do then, at that point, you have access to all of our jobs to submit to. Right? And then what we do is that when you're a fit for a job we have, we then vet you before we send it to our clients. So all that being said, my time is up, my wrist is buzzing. If you want to come talk about job search stuff, find me afterwards. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you so much for your time so far. So next part is JavaScript Jeopardy. There's a lot of people in this room, so I'm sorry you're in this room, you're probably going to be picked. But how this works is I'm going to ask a question, raise your hand, I'll call on you, it's not going to be there, I'm sorry. If you get it right, you get to come get to the side table. And then if you get it wrong, you get to come get to the side table. So participation is key. We'll get this as quickly as we can, because I know we got more speakers. There we go. So first question, which of the following will throw an error? Const opt equals curly voice, const opt new object, object.create, or object.create passing through null. Yes. That is incorrect. Yes, it's incorrect.
Are we still passing out all the swag?
Yeah, I got
got one swag here, their shirt.
I got a box of that too. Yes, great.
They say D?
They said D.
I'm gonna say B.
That is also incorrect. Yes. It is C. Yes, that is correct.
Come up against
But come up against the side. Yeah, whoever person. Yeah. So object.create requires you to pass either an object or no. If you do object.create without passing the required parameter, it will throw an error. All right, next question. Which of the following is not a valid HTTP status code? 200, 301, 419, or 999? Okay, yes, Steve.
D.
That is correct. Yes, 999 is not a valid HTTP status code. So
for me.
go on up against the flag.
Hey.
All right, next question. What will the following code output? 1, 2, undefined, or error. What will the following code output? Yes, right.
A?
That is correct. It is A. Yes, so once you freeze an object, even if you try to reassign that property, it will maintain the original value. Awesome. Thank you so much. Feel free to come up and grab your swag. I can't remember what I've done so far. Okay, so this is trivia. What code do you know about JavaScript? Oh, right, that's A. That is correct. Yes. Oh, they're smart. And come on and grab some swag. Okay, so this is the last one. Which of the following can be, oh, that was fast. Okay, I didn't read the question yet.
but I just got it.
When the application are being traveled, you can use the URL for the current page in JavaScript. All right. Thank you all for playing. The first one was tricky. I did deep into the for that one. I'm going to just make it a few parts, so I try to make it a little bit easier. I'm going to do higher. We're going to if you like playing JavaScript, please come to our meetups. All right, without further ado,
I've been.
to the stage.
Go.
Can you say good morning down to me?
Good morning, Don.
I had to do it.
You know where the bathroom is in there?
It's just like your bathroom, your pants. I just found myself getting on that point. It's kind of point my parents are Catholic. I said it just though. Nobody knew about.
Let's see. All right. Man, I can't show. First of all, so and
I think kind of fire.
so anyways, hi everyone. I'm glad to be back in Atlanta. It's been a good year or what I like to call US East 1 ATL 2A. For those who might not know. Anyways, quick note, I do some training. I'm a little runner. And, you know, every day I probably go out and do a 12K run. I'm Canadian, so I like to be a runner. But then I'll probably hit the track. I'll do my speed. Sometimes I'll do like 4, 6, 8, whatever. But at some point I'll also do longer.
Right now,
I used to eat longer, but I actually love it. So, I don't know, on weekends I'll do whatever, like 18, 21K, you know, I'll talk about 30 miles. But, I'll also have some 12K intervals. You know, we're also go easy, but down to hard for a little while, not even races. You know, but it's really good practice. And then at some point, I'll probably do a few hours a day. I don't know, any runners here, or who follow me, watching you, you know, yeah, she's a big like, anyways, you know, so, that's good training. At the end of the day, I actually do some racing as well. Now, racing is actually pretty goddamn hard. Any races here, like, you run and not really, like, it gets tough when you really try. So, you know, what happens? Well, I run into other runners. It's kind of like bandwidth contention. Like, you know, I'm trying to get through, like, okay, where do I get to the part where I can get into my groove? You know, when you're racing also, suddenly you didn't expect some elevation. You thought you needed a force, but not like, you know, you expect this to happen. Okay, my pace is going to go off. Then at some point, you're probably going to get some turns. I hate turns. I usually do races that are like as straight as possible. So the turns will probably get like, I don't know. You lose in 2 seconds, so it kind of feels like you're dropping packets. And then, of course, there's some weather, some wind, that you miss stuff. If you have bad footwear, a race can really suck. Ultimately, the difference between practice and a race is completely different. One is kind of a controlled environment, and one is kind of like, what is going to happen today? It's kind of like how you have lab data and ground data. One is checked in the lab, perfect conditions, you change the settings on your Chrome DevTools, and the other one is kind of like what is happening in the wild, and that's what we call ground data. It's kind of like having, like I said, being in the lab and being like, oh, this is perfect, but out in the wild, there are bricks, you know, the real deal, kind of like the blue pill. Some of you know, it first came about for kind of like chess games. But in the real world, we know something kind of different. Oh, like the people there. Anyhow, RUN is what we call real user monitoring. It's what's happening when you're using your device, most likely a cell phone. So tonight I'm going to talk about RUN data and I'm calling physical data. The importance of understanding lab and RUN, or RUN lab. My name is Henri. You can find me on socials on the web page. DevComs is something that I'll get into a little later. I'm from the greatest city on the planet, which is ECGCA Central 1, Toronto, by the way. Hashtag there's RUN. I started that as a resource for RUN. I'll talk about it later. But one thing you have to know is I absolutely love data. And a few years ago, I think, I was talking on Twitter, and I was like, man, we know how to pronounce Jim, but how do you spell JPEG? And that was the result. But we went and looked at data online to see how people are spelling JPEG, and it looked real crazy. Like, we pulled this from the web. And I'll talk about that a little later. But I love performance data. I kind of hang out in the web performance space. And who's heard of the HTTP archive here? Amazing. So it's a sort of like repo where we take a look at what is on the web, how the web was built. Things like we saw that at the 75th percentile, the page rate is almost 5x. At the 75th percentile, we know that only 31% of pages on mobile are lazy-load. We also saw that at 75th percentile, we're shipping over 1,000 per wall, basically made of JavaScript. And we also looked at things like CSS compression, where we can see that 27% of CSS is compressed by broccoli, 59% by GSEC, okay, but 14% is not being compressed at all, bad seed. But that is lab data, or what we like to call synthetic data. That's the controlled environment, and in real life, the environment is absolutely not controlled. So that's why we have things like field data, or what we like to call raw data, once again, real user monitoring, or sometimes you'll hear people call real user metrics. How did it start? Well, 2003, you got to have an amazing team of developers. One of them was Steve Sowers, well known in the web performance space, and that is called Roundtrip, where they were checking out the real user data from people hitting per second. And then it became this application called Boomerang, and once again, they all collected RUN data. Now, for those who know the HTTP archive, it's controlled from amazing synthetic data. There's also another repo called the RUN archive. It's the same, but with RUN data. Now, I know I'm racing through this, so please ask some questions afterwards. But we're able to look at a trove of information. And I know it's a little small, so I apologize for I want to put it all out there. But there's so much data that you can pull from users to understand how they are consuming your applications. And you can also look at things like third-party resources, because they are an integral part of the web as well, and you want to know how these things are operating. Because in life, there are two distinct device models, all right? Because we know there are outward users, and we know the others are clowns. Okay? Because I know there's some clowns in there. Raise your hands. All right. I mean, but here's why it's important. Because there are a lot of Android devices out there, and it's absolutely crazy. This is just a sample. Well over 2,000 different Android devices. And I think a month ago I was looking at this list. Here's some of the devices that I saw that I never heard of in my entire life. And they are on the web right now, consuming what is out there. And the challenges with these devices is that they're not very powerful. A few years ago, a bunch of companies bet that if you drop the price, you could sort of like fill the get people to get on hardware like the handhelds, but with moderate power, but you just still access the web. And that's what they bet on, and they're basically free. But again, look at these names inside. I've never heard of these devices in my life. And in fact, for those who use Lighthouse or the DevTools, we're able to do a kind of slow down on the CPU. Why? Because we are trying to mimic what is out there on the web right now. This is because of raw data. We're trying to understand what these users are doing and how they're consuming their content. So, for example, we're able to look at the ROM archive and see raw data like this. PLTV's page load time. And again, these things will differ by geos. Alright? The same page can act much differently in America than it will in India for a number of reasons. And these are the G7 countries. That's in those seconds, by the way. Then I talked about the third parties. No nice third parties, but we absolutely need them. But guess what? We can also find out who the top third party is generally, and we can see how it's loading on devices across the globe. Once again, we have the G7s and a couple exceptions there thrown in. You can see that just one third party is taking almost half a second to load. That's just one. And again, this is using the raw data so we can start to paint the picture of how your users are consuming your content. Now, we can talk about a lot more stuff, but e-commerce is always super important. All right? And in America, e-commerce is extremely important, like worldwide as well. But we're able to look, and this is data by the way. So during Thanksgiving, which is an important retail weekend, we can see that, again, the handheld device and mobile devices and what people are using, the darker it gets, that's where the surge of searches come in from that device. And everything you can see is extra dark for the device type which is called mobile right here. All right? And this is happening right around that weekend where all the sales happen. So, by using some of this data, you can start to make very informed decisions on what you deploy. Now, so ultimately, real use marketing is so crucial in what we do because you can see and not guess, we can really get some good determining data on what you want to put out there. You cannot improve what you do not measure or monitor. All right. Speaking of monitoring, shout outs to first talk. All right. We talked about monitoring earlier. Raw data has to be part of your audit flow. When you're making some of those decisions, if you don't have raw data, you're basically guessing as to what's going to happen. And some of the tools out there, things like Crux, Chrome User Experience Report, the RUM, PageSpeed, Trio, there's a bunch of other RUM tools out there. On the lab side, again, you want to use that as well to really navigate what's going on, but you can use obviously Lighthouse. You can use things like references, Square, and PageSpeed as well. Now, why should we care? Well, we saw some of that earlier, but for example, and I don't know what FanDuel does, but just say you FanDuel, and you know that in certain situations, you have a lot of coverage as to what they can do for a particular, I don't know, FanDuel case, right? And they're like, okay, cool, we have people to cover across the states. Fine. You want to make sure that when you deploy, especially over these sort of flyover states that are sometimes from your end, but more specifically, it may be devices that are like, uh-oh, I don't know if we can handle this deployment. You want to know these things because in other cases, you might do like this, okay? Because you want to pull the data and understand how these users are using their accessing the content. Now, I want to embrace this as a lightning talk, so I do want to thank you very much. But I do have a couple of other announcements. They mentioned, FanDuel mentioned that they were React Talk. I gave React Talk last year about it. And, React does have some funny points. But speaking of talks, I do have a talk Friday. I at 4 o'clock, I think. It's called Down the Wire, and it's about modern web performance and how we investigate, because it's changed a lot over the years. Speaking of comedy, I do have a comedy bit Thursday, as I mentioned, called Drake for PhD. No Drake jokes here, please. And the last thing I do want to talk about, I mentioned that I'm a runner, and I organized a 30-minute/5K run on Friday morning. If you're remotely interested, you can scan this. It's going to be real casual, 7 a.m. from the Congress Hotel, which is Indigo. Thank you very much. But all the information is on this sheet. And with that being said, thank you very much.
We're very grateful to have these amazing speakers get in with us. So up next, we do have Ben Martin from Wix. Who here is interested in AI and chatbots and integrating AI into your applications? Yeah, okay, quite a few. So we're going to learn more about that. This is using TensorFlow.js. So the title is From Coding to Thriving, How TensorFlow.js Keeps My Chatbot Unbothered.
She gave me the full title. I shortened it a little for this slide. It's really long. I'm so excited to be here. I've never been in a meetup that had overflow space. That was also cool. Like, this is crazy. I'm really excited to be here. This is like crazy different energy to than any meetup I've ever been in. So really, really happy the opportunity to be here. So as I was thinking about it, I was like, what do I talk about? You guys are talking about my and what I got to thinking about was the very first conference that I went to as a developer advocate. I work for Wix as a developer advocate. I've been there like 2.5 years without working with them. We're going to go way far back on the career switcher. There was 13 years, so if you come from a different industry, you can do this too. I was rubbing people, I'm ready to do it now. You can absolutely do this. But the very first conference that I went to, like, as a developer advocate, I met other developer advocates, and so all talks that were really inspiring to me, and I got really excited. And one of the people that I met was the Zen advocate, or Zen. His name is Jason Mays, I think he still works there. Really quiet, very sweet, and they were showing all kinds of cool models, and I was really inspired. And one of that kind of stuck with me for the kind of developers that I support that work on Wix Studio. They was this toxicity. And the reason I like that is I was like, a lot of people use chatbots on their websites. A lot of people manage communities, manage forums, and manage these types of spaces. And there's humans on the other side of it. And I think a lot of people out there, and honestly, they're going to forget that they're from toxic crap at your chat, your support people, your moderators. And in a state, we don't need to deal with that shit anymore, right? We have tools for that. So I wanted to see, like, people that work on Wix, and so that's my inspiration. People that work on Wix are using a little bit of platform. You're using a lot of tools out of the box, so they're highly expensive. We don't have toxicity management out of the box. That's your own. You have to have pockets first. You set it up, but all that garbage people in your inbox, so we never really anything to check out for your store or whatever. Like, they just have to pay for it. And I was like, I wonder if they don't have it. Maybe you can get it. So as I revisited this code, because this is from the first conference that I actually never have presented this code anywhere, because I was just playing, I was excited, I was learning, and I wanted to see what I could pass on to our users. So I went back to it, and of course it broke. I fixed it over. But it got me thinking, like, what did I do with it now? Like, because this was like, I always said a year and a half, 2 years ago, and AI and ML, all it takes is moving so fast, and like, I'm working, I have everybody doing other stuff now. I don't even know if this is not allowed to use anymore. So I started thinking about, like, what are some considerations, or if I was thinking, when I'm pulling off the shelf models, what I kind of mean by that, I'll talk about in a minute too. That's, I made it up, I don't know if it's a real term, so, you know. And I'm going to show you a little bit of the code. I'm not going to take too long there, but I'll push it. And also, it's on GitHub if you're looking to get it. I'm in Martin Dev on GitHub. You can find make it an even better thought, this model is not extendable like that. So I was like, oh, okay, so this is a question you ask yourself, do I maybe manage some kind of new niche community that's a really creative way of being toxic, and I need to be able to train on myself, I need to be able to extend it, or when they come up with new creative ways to approach, I need to be able to stop that. Where can I get something off the shelf? Is it just an e-commerce store, and it's probably just something getting out of it, or just to say some normal dumb stuff that needs to be answered out? And then, of course, as you get deeper and you say performance, how much is this going to cost me? Because I have a lot of traffic coming through, how's it going to scale? So there's a lot of things to think about, right? Let's get out of this one, because I want to show you a couple things before we get into the one I use. So with this consideration, I started looking at what else is out there, and I found hugging phase, which I haven't tried any of these yet, but so if you're interested in toxicity, there are 192 models when I searched for toxicity there. I have no idea how good they are, but that seems insane to me. So there's probably something out there you can use, or at least let's see how it works. The other cool thing about this, the other reason that I started looking into toxicity classifiers is because I don't know how to replace that. Maybe I will someday, but they always tell you how I did it and what they trained on. And so you can kind of look at what does that mean, and then kind of go back in your mind, reverse engineer, learn about what does it take to get there, and then also learn how to do it. Another one I found, and this is just very brief Googling, is this one called Perspective. I didn't go too far into looking at this one because this is a Google product, and they make you add a credit card even though it is a free tool. And I had recently got burned by AWS bill I did not think I was going to get, and so I wasn't going to put in my credit card for a demo. But this is a free tool. It's a Google tool. It's an API. It looks kind of neat from the dock. So again, there's a lot of toxicity management things out there right now. So if you are interested in this, play around. I'm using TensorFlow. So let's go over the code. I'm going to zoom this in. This is me time. So this is actually, well, it's probably a little crazy now because I did it, but this is Big Studio. So if you've never seen this before, it's a low code. It's a drag and drop. So I'm not going to really pay attention to the UI much because I didn't do anything. All I did was add this chatbot, right? And put some text on there. So that chatbot out of the box works like a chatbot. But I didn't want it to work like a chatbot. I wanted to be able to intercept those messages as they come in. So I added the packages, the NPM packages are here. You notice it's a lot of freaking NPM packages, and so this is very broken, by the way. So it's only supposed to take these two, TensorFlow and the toxicity model. And then it was crying about a bunch of dependencies that I shouldn't have to install that should be included with TensorFlow. So if you play with this, start with these two, just start with those two. It's what will be in their docs. I have no idea why this is happening. So I just, every time I wanted a dependency, I gave it to it and just moved on. Here's the line. This line right here is just for intercepting the chat. So this one's not about TensorFlow. This is just a Wix thing for intercepting that message when it comes in. I'm saying I don't want it to necessarily be answered yet. I don't want it to go to my support staff. I want to stop that, and I want to do something else. This is the code that will do it. It's a little bit of code, and even if you're not working in something like Wix, it's actually not that much more code. The only thing that I really took away from the TensorFlow demo was all of the HTML generation. I could build a chatbot if you're going to chatbot, obviously. But like the actual TensorFlow code, it's not much code to do this, which is pretty cool, right? So you, up here, you'll see that I really did the model at the top. A couple of things about performance. This model is slow, and I'll show you that. It's slow on first load. It's slow on that initialization. And that's regardless of the Wix environment or not, I noticed. So one of the things I did, because I don't want it to, in the TensorFlow code, you'll notice they have this model being called inside the prediction function, so then you're calling it every single time you're hitting predict. I don't really want to do that. So I'm initializing the model outside, and then I'm also passing in toxicity labels. There's actually a whole big model that has different kinds of toxicity. It could be incorrect. It could be, there's something called severe toxicity, which is way worse. So there's like 7 different levels of this, and at first I was looking at the whole model. So it's like, yeah, I want to look at all toxicity. Why wouldn't I? But it made it smaller. So I decided to be a little more specific about the kind of thing I was looking for and said, let's just do general. You can give it a threshold for what's considered toxic, and then you want it to flag it, and then just include those labels. So by being more specific and initializing that model outside of your prediction, you'll get a little bit better speed, but I'll show you this in just a second because it's slow initial for sure. So then this is just the prediction. All you're doing is running through the classify model. It's classifying for you. It's coming back if it's a match or not. And then the rest of this is if you're working in Wix, all we're doing is hitting the chat backend API, and I hard-coded some messages. You could of course make this more dynamic, and that's it. So let me show you. I'm gonna say something in here. We're gonna say like your kid got a hold of this website and is being stupid, okay? Okay, so like, I'm gonna talk to you for a minute. You're gonna be like, oh, this is broken, and it's not broken because it's just broken. Well, that's how it does. But it takes a really, really long time to get that first hit back. It's probably because I don't know. There it is. So see, I thought it was broken. I hate that. Now, here, I'll say. So this one should be a little faster. It was on the other chat. Right away. So that's another chat response, right? The second one. So that's the difference between that model initializing and then being initialized. But like, your person visiting your website, like that's a shitty experience for the first one. So then, like, to wrap it up, like, alright, the reason I built this is because I was inspired. Is it production ready? Absolutely not. You're going to be inspired to go build things and tinker, but you could get this there. You could get this there by testing other models, or even if it turned out, this is the one I want to use, there's things you can do so that your user, you're the one that knows. You feel that pain. But you can do like a freeloader, like a little and it makes something happen. Or give them a form that's like, hey, tell us about your problem with your email, and they're doing something, they don't realize that code is happening in the background. So it all depends on what you're doing. But the biggest thing is, like, I made this because I was inspired at a conference, and you're about to get inspired. And then you're going to go to meetups everywhere you are, or you're come back to one of these meetups, and tell everybody what you learned. Tell everybody how you're excited. That's what we're all here for. Thank you. All right, I'm going to go ahead and welcome our next speakers up to the stage. This is our last speaker, but definitely not least. I would like the tour. We get 2 speakers for this next talk. We'll go ahead and get set up and get started. To welcome them, just a quick note, some of this kind of vary a little bit. So I want everyone to never keep talking to everybody, just like Taylor said. But you know, when speakers are going, we try to keep sort of the implicit level of the audio, so everyone can get a presentation. So, awesome, yeah. And as Desiree said, just as a reminder, we do have our Monday in Texas Fair ATL in Midtown. So if you are in Atlanta, put your phone and then go to this man's Atlanta represent. Alright, so all of you should go to AtlantaJavaScript.com, register for our meetup on June 25th, and we'll get to see you there. Alright.
Do a little of this. Do a little of this, everybody. Like Taylor or so many great speakers tonight. Let's go around. Thank you. I'm Jason. I'm the host of the Tech Week podcast, and who doesn't know that, I'm also a software developer, and I'm currently technical product manager on a wonderful project called Grid Item Inspire.
And my name is Grayson Wicke. I live just 2 hours north of here in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I am a back-end and front-end developer, so full-stack developer on the Grid Iron Inspire project, which is what we're going to talk to you about here today.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. Okay, so our middle of the stage, the project. Does anybody play fantasy football? Anybody in fantasy football? Do you know what the hell Survivor? Grid Survivor? You do. He does. The guy versus Campbell. I still don't know 100% honestly. However, the project is built out of necessity for a person who's running Grid
Survivor League football teams. Man, doing it all, there's several hundred players, all players, yeah. And he's doing all the sending out emails every week. Our friend on Shachi, who some of you know, was a Microsoft senior UX engineer. His friend was there. He said, look, Gene, it doesn't matter, it's Gene now. Gene, we have something we can help you with. We have a team of amazing developers that don't have certain skills in technology. A lot of them are self-taught. Self-taught, boot camps, pro course, and self-taught. I want to put a team together. Here's the whole movement for football. We're building a team. We're going to build you an application to organize your whole survivor project. All your leagues, you build right in. So we decided to put together a team of us and build it out. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, so good iron survivor. If you don't know who Shachi is, find him, Shachi. That's not who he goes. But he's a senior developer at Microsoft, and he loves giving back to the community to help those who are looking for their, trying to break into tech, and that is Jason. We are trying to break into tech. We are self-taught. I went to a coding boot camp, graduated in November of 22. When Shachi saw, we met him at another conference, and he reached out to us and said, hey, I have a project I'm going to work on. We're going to build in public. So the whole idea is building with a team of people who are trying to break into tech in public while we're learning and showcasing the skills we have some sort of basis that we see. And that's where we call it surviving the gridiron, right? I was a bootcamp, graduated in November of 22 with React and Python stacks. And I've been trying to break into tech for 2 years now. The job, I know a lot of you are junior and senior developers breaking into Spark for you as well. Many years of experience. I have 17 years of corporate experience, 2 years of developer experience, right? So this is what we're trying to do. So with Gridiron Survivor, it's bridging that gap. So you can't find exactly what you need. Quickly, I had a 12-month bootcamp great. But what was missing was working with a team, figuring out, get merge conflicts with the team, communicating with the team, saying, hey, I'm working on this feature, it's going to break your code over here. And it's providing that another area that bootcamps were lacking was testing, end-to-end testing. Now we're getting that experience with the senior developer from Microsoft who's running it like he would run a project at Microsoft. So we're getting that experience now while we're trying to apply for jobs, look for jobs, and break into the tech industry.
How many people in here are juniors and still trying to break in? Are you, as far as like teaching yourself to boot camps, do you see deficits in some of the stuff that you learn? Like when it comes to project management or again, just doing testing? That was a big thing for me. And actually possible at the beginning of the year. I got into a background interview and I think the person that had experience in the team environment. And I think that's one big thing that with experience. Filling in those gaps is one of the biggest things that we can do. So, as the product manager, I've been building tickets, I've been running the meetings, we're doing all of this online too. Like, I don't know just a company. And Shashi's been very gracious with how he's been teaching. I think that's another thing. If you can find an opportunity as a junior, somebody that's learning to teach themselves, to get into a program that allows you to grow, but doesn't, into the environment for constructive criticism and not the sense of urgency, real role. I think you can do it. That was life okay. Yeah. So we actually built that, and this is on our issue tickets. All of our tickets have this because, again, really important things that the PNT or working in some sort of natural order is reviews and forums and all those things that, again, I don't remember that there's a lot of that stuff is missing in education. So I think as far as like reflecting on what my journey was now, if I can go back, I think what I would be doing is filling in those gaps that we're going. So again, if you're doing the self-talk or board, make sure you are looking at some of those other things because it's going to help you along for sure.
Absolutely. That's it. Yes, we have 3 minutes for questions, but really the takeaway here is that there's a gap from self-learning going to boot camps to a real-world experience. This has been a project, again, that we've been super excited to be a part of. It's called Iron Survivor. On Twitter, you can find us on Twitter. We broadcast our team meetings all over the place on Twitter. Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, all of that. It's an open source project. If you are looking for your first role in tech, or you're trying to break into tech, looking for experience, come and find us. I remember we're around all week. We're here today. I know that Josh is looking to bring in some more engineers because we need help. So, talk to us.
Front-end engineers, UX designers, executives, user jobs, kind of strategy online. It's a really good way. No one in terms of being risk yourself, and no obviously, if you're looking to reduce those gaps or using your back in those jobs, finding ways to fill the gaps that you know, is really going to de-risking this potential candidate. So, something to think about.
Got a question. I think there's, you guys did a great job. I think there's one thing that no speakers really talked about today, is just the fact that like, when you get to a job, and in my experience, you gotta have like 2 ways of talking. You got tech talk, and you got the kind of talk you do with the product managers or shareholders or whatever. That's like the huge part. And I've seen people at my job who were talented developers, like super talented, but it was like they're too smart. They couldn't, take a simple problem. The product manager say, do this, but they go and do like overcomplicated or over-engineered or something like that. Yeah, I think that you guys talked a lot, but I feel like that's a huge thing to be able to solve.
He was kind of touching on some things as far as like technical talk versus just like soft skills talk. I personally lean more towards soft skills. My background is in film production, spent 15 years in the film industry. I know what soft skills. Again, yeah, this is where you are almost the polar opposite. This guy can talk circles around and almost the road. You have to kind of build it because again, regardless of whatever you go there, there's still people on each side, so you have to be able to navigate both sides.
And real quick, links to some icons down here at the bottom left. We are being sponsored by FindingMentor.io, I forgot. Especially, they're not here. But I want to thank, we got the Operate team here tonight, so Operate has been generous to sponsor us with some online grants and helping us. We're building our platform on the Operate platform, so shout out to the Operate team. They're awesome. All I got to do is
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
You're building this in public, so you're trying to showcase your skills. Have you been able to realize this in interviews? And has anyone ever reached out to you because they've seen this?
Not yet, but I'm
Well,
looking.
not us specifically. However, we did have a team member that did recently get a job at a company that are around through this program documentation of the whole process, which again was on display. So it's Richard. Yeah. Spoiler alert, it's Richard. Yeah. So there is opportunities there because being exposed to the public is getting you that front and center. So you can present yourself and show you the learning and show you what you're looking for too. Really great. So thank you. That's it. Go ahead.
Building public is super important. I'm going to do a technical interview in like 3 years because of my open source work, so I highly recommend it. Also, that's the speakers that we have today. This has been really amazing, and all being here to engage. We're here to learn something today. We're here to learn some knowledge. We're here to met somebody new. Network, talk to somebody. All right, now who here is excited to render and learn more and meet more people? All right, yeah. Let's welcome my name is Dr. Pendulum. Just wrap these up here and take a look at it.
Yeah, those
Okay.
All right, we are, oh, set. And we are done.